Thank you. Good evening. Thank you. I propose a game. Let's play a game. I propose a game. Something's missing. What's missing? My shoe. Very good. Well observed. I'm only wearing one shoe. I have here a shiny shoe. Here a fairly stinky sock. Where is my other shoe? I hear you ask. Thank you, 6 people. I'll tell you where my other shoe is. I have hidden my other shoe somewhere in Nottingham. More specifically, in this box here. Or if you like, in this box here, or if you prefer, in that box there. So here's the game. You try and guess which box contains my shoe. If you guess correctly, you win my shoe. You can have it. And I'll perform the whole of the rest of the show wearing only one shoe. That's the game. The game has a name. The name of the game is Derren, please tell me where I might find your other shoe. So without any further ado, let's play a round of Derren, please tell me where I might find your other shoe.
Please tell me where I might find Derren's other shoe, if you'd be so kind. Please tell me where I might find his other shoe, if you don't mind.
Okay, box number 1, box number 2, box number 3. You're going to vote as an audience with your applause. So applaud if you think it's in box number 1. Very good. Applaud if you think it's in box number 2. Very good. And if you think it's in number 3, applaud now. Number 3 is wrong. As I'm afraid was your second choice, number 2, also wrong. It was in fact over here in box number 1. Never mind, give yourselves a hand, you did your best. It's not too difficult to manipulate an entire crowd, but the fewer of you there are, the more of a challenge it is. So let's make this a little more difficult and do this with just a couple of you. Put your hand up if you are here with your partner. All right, so I've never quite managed to get this up into the balcony on a first attempt before. Oh, yes! Up you get, stand up, both of you, up you get. I'm going to get a microphone to you. Should be one just coming along there now. What are your names?
Louise and Ian.
Louise and Ian. How long have you been together for, Louise and Ian, if those are your real names?
Nearly 10 years.
Nearly 10 years. Excellent. Good. All right. Excellent. Let's play another round of Derren. Please tell me where I might find your other shoe.
Please tell me where I might find Derren's other shoe, if you'd be so kind. Please tell me where I might find his other shoe, if you don't mind.
Okay, Louise and Ian. Ian and Louise, I'm going to want a joint decision from you. So one you both agree on, and obviously it goes without saying, it is a completely free choice. Now, what's interesting is this. Ian is on the left, Louise is on the right. So Ian will be naturally drawn to box number 1, the one on the left, and Louise will be naturally drawn to box number 3, the one on the right, because we're drawn to things closest to us. But the reason why this is interesting is that I want a joint decision. So if between them they go for number 1, we can presume that Ian is the dominant partner in this relationship. Because Louise will have submitted to his natural instinct. And likewise, if they go for number 3, we can presume that Louise is the decision maker in this household. Is that clear, both of you, first of all, that we are judging you, yes?
Yes.
Yes? Academic in this case, because we can hear that he's taken the microphone and decided to speak for both of them. They could, of course, go for number 2, although that to me would suggest a lack of leadership in the household. Any kids then tend to grow up without a strong sense of a moral framework. They end up lazy and listless and what we might think of nowadays as drug addicts, sadly. So, entirely up to you. 1, no, or 3. Joint decision, please, and Ian, don't stand for any nonsense.
Go on.
3.
Is that a joint decision?
No.
Right. Secret of 10 happy years, though. Go on. Joint decision, please. You can have number 3 if you like. I just want a joint decision.
Number 1.
Louise, is that a joint decision?
I'm happy to go with that.
Happy to go with number 1. Okay, number 1 is wrong. So, what's it going to be? Shit kids or Louise is the best?
3.
3. Do you want to change your mind?
No.
No! You should always change your mind. I'm sorry you were wrong. You should always change your mind. It was in number 2. Give them a hand, though. I'm sorry. You should always change your mind. And there's a good reason why. There's a good reason why you should always change your mind, which I will explain to you, because I think these things are important, and you won't hear it anywhere else. So let's try this with the most difficult situation of all now, which is just with one person. Downstairs in the stalls, put your hand up if you are a lady here for your birthday. Put your hands up. If I throw this out, can you get that to somebody with their hand up? Doesn't need to be the... Oh, beautifully done. Up you get, madam. What's your name?
Abby.
Abby. Now, you did catch that right out the end, but we don't know each other, do we? There's nothing going on. Abby. All right. When's your birthday? Today or?
Sunday.
Sunday? A round of applause for Abby. It was her birthday on Sunday. Okay, that's enough. Got to crack on. Abby, You need to make a decision of 1, 2, or 3. So you can't change your mind. I'm going to ask you to write it down. There's an usher out there in the aisle with a pen and paper. Would you mind, Abby, just heading out? And we'll play one final round of Derren. Please tell me where I might find your other shoe.
Derren's footwear must be somewhere. Where could his footwear be? Derren's footwear must be somewhere, but where specifically?
Okay, Abby, have you made your mind up?
Yep.
Okay, so let me tell you what was going on in my head as I put it in one of these boxes. In round number 1, it was in box number 1, yes? And in round number 2, it was in box number 2, which leaves box number 3 as the obvious choice for round number 3, but too obvious. You might think we can disregard it because Abby is doing her best not to appear obvious, but that's where it gets interesting, because she will disregard it, but the moment she disregards it, she is then playing the role of somebody trying to catch me out. And then it ceases to be a random 1 in 3 choice, and it becomes the far more predictable choice of what does somebody do when they're trying to catch me out, which of course is to go for the most obvious choice, because it will seem less obvious, specifically because of its overabundance of obviosity. So I'm hoping that you, as everybody does, went for number 3. Which one did you go for?
3.
Number 3, good, all right. So, as did they, so I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'll give you a chance to change your mind. I'll show you, as I did them, it's not in box number 1, all right? Just as I showed Louise and Ian up there. So it's not in box number 1. You now have a choice. You can either stick with 3 or change your mind to number 2. Similar choice to what they had up there. Now, your gut will tell you, as it did with them, to stick with number 3, because you'll think, well, it's 50-50, isn't it now? So if I change your numbers right the first time, I'd kick myself, so I might as well stick. But here's the point. 2 boxes does not necessarily mean 50-50. You're actually twice as likely to win now if you change your mind to number 2, which is counterintuitive, but it is true. So let me explain to you why this is true. Imagine there were 100 boxes. 100 boxes, only one of which contains the shoe. This is why you should always change your mind. All right? And I ask Abby to guess which one she thinks is in. Now, because there's 100, we can presume she'll be wrong, right? It's only 1 in 100 chance she'll be right. So let's say she went for number 1. All right, now obviously I know which one contains the shoe, and clearly we can presume it's going to be in one of the other 99 here, and I only want to leave her with one other choice, so I start eliminating. I eliminate 98 of these boxes by opening them up and showing them empty, leaving her number 1, and for some reason number 84, that's the one I don't open up. You now have a choice. Do you stick with number 1, the one you plucked out the air at random, or do you go for number 84, the only one that I didn't open up? Clearly it is in number 84. Yes, it's in number 84. So 2 boxes, but self-evidently not 50-50. And the maths is very straightforward. We already know number 1 is a 1 in 100 choice. That's going to be wrong. Yes, that's the wrong one. Meaning number 84 now has to be a 99 out of 100 choice. Yes, it's going to be the right one. Exactly the same here with only 3 boxes. Your choice here is a 1 in 3 choice because you plucked it out the air at random, which means that this one, following the elimination, is now 2 out of 3. You are twice as likely to win if you change your mind. So you can either stick with your gut and stick with number 3, or you can trust the maths and change to number 2. But you're going to get it wrong because everybody does. So let's put some money on it because it was your birthday on Sunday. What have we got? 50, 100, 155, £5. £5 says you will get this wrong. What are you going to do? Are you going to stick with number 3 and trust your gut, or are you going to trust the maths and change to number 2? And I'll tell you, Abby, no one ever changes their mind.
I'll stick with my gut.
Sticking with number 3, yes?
Yep.
And you're wrong. I'm sorry, I did everything I could to help. You should always trust the maths. Give her a hand, it was in number 2. I'm sorry. You do not win the shoe. You do not win the shoe, and I'm afraid, birthday or no, Abby, you do not win the £5 either. Nope. Not even real money. Thank you for coming. Thank you.